Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Uh, Today is January 10th, 2024. The purpose of this video is A Course in Miracles. We are currently on lesson 10. We're 10 days in to doing A Course in Miracles. And I'm going to go ahead and switch sides because the sun was in my eyes. There we go. Now the sun is behind me. Alright, for lesson 10, it says, my thoughts do not mean anything. Number 1, this idea applies to all the thoughts of which we are aware of or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We made this distinction before and we'll do so again. There's still no basis for comparison yet, as of yet. But when we do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. Number 2, this is from the book, the workbook. This is the second time that we've used this kind of idea. The form is slightly different. This time, the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts. And no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. Number 3. This aspect of correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless outside rather than within. And then emphasized their past rather than their present status. Now the emphasis is on that of the presence of these thoughts. Means that you are not thinking, present. This is just another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you see it, when you think you see it. And this is a prerequisite for the vision, Number 4, we're going to close our eyes for this exercise and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. Then add, okay, so the idea that we're repeating is my thoughts do not mean anything. And then adding, this idea will help you release me from all that I now believe. This idea will help you, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Number 4, the exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you, without selection or judgment. Trying to avoid classification of any kind And it says, if you find it helpful to do so, you can imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. And as each one crosses your mind, say, my thought about blank does not mean anything. My thought about blank does not mean anything. So, and we're going to be doing it with our eyes closed. And then as we say that, then we introduce or add, the idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. And number 5, it says that today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. And in addition, 5 practice periods are recommended. So it's recommended that we practice this 5 times during the day, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. And it's not recommended that this time period be longer, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience any discomfort. So if you experience discomfort, then cut the time in half to 30 seconds of search time. And it says, remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. This is going to be a good application because I have had, we'll give you an example, a little bit of stress over the past couple of days. So we're going to go ahead and close our eyes and apply this with whatever thought crosses in our minds. We're going to start that lesson right now. Okay, so again, my thoughts do not mean anything to me. And now I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes and search my mind. My thoughts about Clayton's text does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about the ringing in my ears does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about whether or not I'm being a good person does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about me not being a good person does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about worrying does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about what other thoughts are going to come into my mind does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about whether or not anybody's going to see me sitting out here making this video does not mean anything to me. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts about how happy I was when I left the Christian Service Center today does not mean anything. Does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. That's all I have for now. But I think we did pretty good. And give yourself a pat on the back for taking the time to apply this and doing the work. We may not understand everything that we are doing right now, but it's all going to make sense down the line. So if you're feeling any resistance, because I know that I've had resistance, remember to just simply do what the idea asks you to do. And it's okay for us not to understand it right now. We just need to apply it. My thoughts about not understanding the lessons in A Course in Miracles does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thought about fear does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. And that's going to be it for this video. I would like to say it says for us to do this about 5 times today. Find some time to practice. It need not be longer than a minute of practice time throughout the day. I came up with an idea, and we'll see. I'm thinking that well, I'll let you know in the next video, so or 2 when you will know when I have it, because I'll bring it to the video. With that said, I would like to say thank you and much love to you guys. If you're just showing up for this video, you can find the rest of the videos on A Course in Miracles in my playlist under my Chronicles of a Collective Soul. If you made it this far, go ahead and like and comment, and if you'd like in the comments, go ahead and type in some of your practice thoughts that came to mind with the application. Let's see how everyone's doing. That'd be really cool to go ahead and practice by leaving it in the comments and stuff like that. So I will go ahead and see you tomorrow for lesson 11.